This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your work, your life, your relationships, and even your money. I'm Dr. John Deloney, joined here by Ramsey personality and best-selling author Ken Coleman, and we are taking your questions. We're not going to take your life. That would not be great.
Very gruesome promise to start off the show.
We're going to take your calls on work, purpose, life, relationships, money. Yeah. Bring it on, man.
They all kind of tie together, interestingly enough. When we lay out those buckets, and you start to, depending on who you are, where you're listening, what you're dealing with today, what you've been dealing with the last week, the last month, all those come together, John. I know that when people aren't happy in their work, they're not happy in their relationships because it kind of just spills out. When the guy goes home, I'll pick on guys because I'm a dude, but it works for ladies as well. We know from all kinds of studies, when you're not doing meaningful work, you feel like you're stuck, you feel like you're not making any progress, that affects you in the home, and you see that come out as well. And then we know that, hey, if you feel like you're stuck financially, you don't feel like you can make a move to pursue work that matters deeply to you. If you feel like your whole world is falling apart relationship-wise, money, work, that becomes secondary.
That's right.
They all
everything
feed
works
in
together. Yeah. And I think we're feeling a convergence of that, right, across the country as people have struggled with work and with money and with wellness and what does science mean and what does politics mean and what does my family relationship look like and should we stay together, should we not? It's just all landed right in our lap, right?
Well, let's just take a snapshot. When the pandemic hit, and of course, in different parts of the country, you have more opening than other parts of the country. So, it really is still a circumstance that has been hanging over large parts of our nation and certainly the world for a year.
Yeah.
Still hanging. And here's what happens. When uncertainty takes hold of us, and I think that's what I just sense is since COVID came in, there's financial uncertainty, professional uncertainty. It has exacerbated and made worse relationship uncertainty.
Right.
And boy, oh boy, we humans just don't do very well with uncertainty, do we?
No, and I think most of us do one of two things, right? We clamp down and try to grab everything we can and fake certainty, or you just take off running, right? You cover up in the corner and just let the world spin at you, right? And it's finding the strength in the community and the relationships and the purpose to get in the middle of that, right?
Yeah.
Control those small things and then let go of the other things, right?
Well, we talked about, I believe it was, I'm going to say 2 or 3, I think it may have been early April, Dave Ramsey, Rachel Cruz, and myself, we did a live event here from our headquarters, and we talked about, it was called A Night of Hope, and the message that we drove home that night was that you control the controllables. Focus on what you can control. There's so much in this world that we cannot control.
Yeah.
And one of the things I talk a lot about on the Ken Coleman Show and helping people live and work on purpose is what happens when you're in a place of uncertainty or in a place of confusion. What do you do? Because that's an overwhelming feeling.
Yeah.
The advice that I give is something that I do in my own life is that I retreat to clarity. So if I'm in a place where I'm in financial uncertainty or professional uncertainty or relationship uncertainty, and I'm realizing right now there's a lot of things spinning around me and I can't control it, John. I start to go, okay, I'm going to retreat for a second, not from the world. I'm not going to go to a cave and disappear. Right. But what I am going to do is I'm going to just step back for a moment, whatever that looks like.
Get some perspective, huh?
That's it. I call it getting clear. Just get clear. What can I be clear on? I'm clear that my wife Stacy's counting on me. My 3 kids are counting on me.
Yeah.
Whatever. If that's clear, get there.
Right.
And when I get there, I go, okay, that means I can't quit, no matter how bad I'm hurting, no matter what's going on in my world. There are other people counting on me. My team's counting on me.
Right. Right.
The Ken Coleman Show has a team. Yeah. There are people that are listening every day. They're counting on me to show up. So for you in those moments, I'm just going to tell you, step back and get clear. Get clear financially. Wait a second. What do I have to do to just pay the bills, the four walls. That's what we teach. Whatever your situation, relationally, how do people get clear when it feels like their whole world's spinning on them?
Yeah, I think I love the way you say that. Just you got to back up for a second, slow down, and stop.
Yes.
Right, get some perspective.
Yeah.
And then sometimes, Ken, like in this weekend's a great example. You step back, and you just got to sit down for a second, right? So I was telling you off air, and I hope I can get through this. The world lost a really remarkable guy from a community that I spent many years in, a guy I've known for a long, long time named Mark Rogers in Abilene, Texas, in a senseless, unfathomable car accident with his 3 lovely little kids and his extraordinary wife, who's a longtime friend, president of Big Brothers Big Sisters, a community leader. And get this is a story I don't ever tell. It was a dinner we had together years ago when he started his little podcast. It was the first podcast I ever did about being well, outside, inside relationships. What does wellness look like outside of what we've been told? And so, Ken, my instinct is just like yours, to pull back and say, okay, they're counting on me. I got to go back in. Sometimes when you lose a buddy, when you lose a light, you got to sit down and just grieve it, man.
That's right.
And so it's been a quiet weekend at the Deloney house, sitting there reflecting on sometimes life happens at you, right?
Yeah.
And we're on the show talking a lot about how much advice we give, and you got to do this, got to do this. And I think it's dishonest and not truthful. As those are two separate things, right? It's just dishonest not to say, hey, life comes at us too. Yeah. Right.
Well, we had a crazy thing. It's not a death with a friend, but we lost our beloved Riggins this morning.
Yeah. Yeah. Long time. And here's the thing. Here's what we do, Ken.
Unexpected. And I'm dying right now.
Of course you are.
Because my wife's at home. She's about ready to tell the kids. It's like, what is going on here? What is happening? Where does this happen? I mean, he was fine last night. Yeah. And then, boom. And it's like, what happens when you hurt and you go, I just want to shut down? Well, it's good to chill a little bit, but also.
And you lean on other people.
But then you lean on others. You come back out. You say, the sun's coming up tomorrow. And I think that's why we didn't plan to share this, but we're both hurting. Yeah. Different ways. Yeah. And it's like, you know what?
And there's no competition with grief, man.
No, there isn't. And there's a lot of people hurting right now. A lot of people hurting that are listening today. And you dialed in and you're going, okay, we got Deloney and Coleman. But maybe you were supposed to listen today because you've been through a season of pain. Maybe you're in a storm right now, or it just feels like financial storm or professional storm, relationship storm. Maybe it's all three. Can I just tell you, A, we know what it feels like. We've been through all three.
We're sitting in it right now.
We're sitting in it now. And it's been a heavy season.
Yeah. And I want to give people permission to both stop and exhale.
Yeah.
Take a knee and pray. Look at other people and say, this just sucks. I wish there was another thing to say. And if you are in a season of sunshine right now, that's where you walk alongside people who are hurting.
Bless somebody else. So here's the deal. 888-825-5225. That's the number. We'll hurt with you. We'll love on you. The sun's coming out tomorrow. I promise. 888-825-5225. Somebody needs to call. We're here waiting on you. This is The Ramsey Show.
Folks, it's an honor to tell you about the Army National Guard. Not only are they big supporters of our high school curriculum, but they also give you the opportunity to impact your local communities. Whether your goals are to get an education, serve your country, or have a better life, the Army National Guard can help you get there. Plus, they offer unbelievable financial benefits. Secure your future today. Visit nationalguard.com/Ramsey to find out more.
This is The Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined here with best-selling author Ken Coleman. We're taking your calls on relationships, life, whatever's going on in your world. 888-825-5225. 888-825-5225. Let's go out to Salt Lake City, Utah, and talk to Cherie. What is going on? Oh, you know what? Hey, listen.
I'm so glad I have the chance to talk to you.
Well, I am thrilled to talk to you. It's Sherry, right?
Yes, it's Sherry.
All right.
Okay,
we're
so
good.
I immediately, listen, you have to know this. The call screener, Zach, is sitting in for Kelly today, and he got on my headset and said, "It is not Cherie, it is Sherry." And I said, "Great." And I promptly answered the phone, "What's up, Cherie?" So I need everyone in America to know that was my fault, not his. So go for it.
Oh, well, my question is, I'm trying to figure out right now how I get my 16-year-old to focus on the future without driving her absolutely crazy in the process.
Uh-oh. I've heard this call before. So let's give us a little bit more detail on what this conversation has looked like to this point, and then I will answer that.
Okay, well, I'll first tell you a little bit about my daughter. She's 16. She'll be 17 in a couple months. She's very bright. She's kind. She's witty. She's sarcastic. She's articulate. She's very artistic. And she has big dreams of doing something like in Hollywood, or going to New York and being a performer, or being a voice actor, or being an artist. And I know she's so good at all of this. She's very good at all of this, but I'm trying to kind of let her know gently that there might be a chance of her having to do something while she's getting her foot into the field, and she doesn't want to hear any of that.
Like what? What's your suggestion? What do you mean?
Well, my suggestions to her is to look at some things, to what you can do for your day job while you are searching for this, while you're improving your art.
Well, wait a second. Okay, so
your music.
All right, so let's recap, Sherry, because I want you to hear what you told us. We started off a phone call saying, "Guys, I need your help helping my 16-year-old take her career or her future seriously." I asked for more details. Then you went into how bright she is and how talented she is and how big her dreams are. So, Sherry, we have a conflict. We don't need to help her get serious about her future. She's dreaming big. That's what I would want to give as a gift to every parent of every 16-year-old in the world, is a kid who's dreaming big, Sherry. That's really good news. And Sherry, your safety muscle, your parenting gland, I'm making these things up. They don't exist, John.
There's for sure a parenting gland.
There is.
There's 11 of them.
It's on overdrive right now. And you're basically telling your kid, you need a plan for when your dream fails. That's what you're telling your daughter. And I know you're not saying that, but that's what she's hearing. And the reason she's hearing that, Sherry, is because that's what you're projecting. So, Sherry, I love you. I've got 3 teens. Sherry, I'm not picking on you. But guess what? This kid knows that when she goes to New York or L.A., she will have to pay rent and she will have to come up with food. This kid knows this. Don't you think? Yes or no?
She does.
Okay.
She does.
All right. So listen. So that's what I'd call a day job, 3 or 4 waitressing gigs or whatever she's got to do. But that's not what you're talking about. You're trying to talk her into some type of safe career backup, like being, you fill in the blank. And that is driving her bananas. And she's going, Mom, I don't want to do that. And can I also just set you free, Sherry? Because you're the one that needs to be set free. If she goes for those dreams, and I hope she does. And I hope you're her number one cheerleader, because if she goes for it and it doesn't work out for whatever reason, she'll fall back to something. But we don't encourage our kids, if they play in a sporting event or they play a musical instrument, hey, at your recital next week, do a good job, but have a good excuse in your back pocket if you don't play well. Would you ever dream of telling your kid that?
No.
But that's what you're telling her in her life. So, Mom, you need to relax and you need to say, how can I support you? And how can I help you? And I'll help you find a job. I'll help you find a place where you can rent. I'll help you find a second or third roommate. I just want to support your dream. Anything that Dad and I can do to help you stay afloat and stay in the game while you go for it, I'm all in, babe. That's what you need to be telling her.
And
Okay.
To make your heart feel a little bit lighter here, because you are going to have to do your work here. 16-year-olds are 16, right? 16-year-olds are 16. And so when a parent goes full in support on their dreams, like Ken says, one of two things will happen. You will help fill that rocket with jet fuel, and it will take off, or they will realize it's not as cool when mom thinks it's cool, right? The second thing is this. Sherry, if I look back over the arc of my career, I've done a lot of schooling and sat in a lot of classes. If I was to tell you the number one thing that I have fallen back on as a senior administrator at multiple universities, now in this cartoon job that I have right now, I'm just living this fantasy world, has been my experience in theater, my experience playing with music groups, my experience in front of other people. That will help her if she decides, as Ken said, if this thing doesn't work out down the road. You will never, the skills you learn working on a team and on a film crew, the skills you learn speaking in public, having to come up with, learn lines and project them and to help learn from all these different bosses, all of those things will go into her repertoire, and she will take over whatever else job she wants to do. So you can't lose by encouraging your daughter to work as a team, work on a team as a part of her art, work on her art. What you can do, though, is, man, if she wants to go all in, man, let her know.
Let her do
like
it.
Matthew McConaughey told us.
Yeah.
Dad said, you're going to go all in. You're going to go all in.
Don't screw it up.
You're going to work really hard. Don't screw this up. That's right.
And here's the deal, Sherry. You gave me enough evidence to believe that this is not a delusion, that she does have the talent. So if she doesn't make it on the LA level or the New York level, who cares? Maybe God's got a different place for her, but it was pursuing that path that led her to her ultimate position. If a kid's delusional, parents, shoot them straight. Let them know the real, okay? But this girl's not delusional. She's got a dream and she's got talent to back it up. So I would tell you, Sherry, maybe even an apology might be necessary here. Not that you've done anything really wrong, but just say, hey, babe, I care so deeply about you as your mom. I'm always trying to protect you. And the reality is maybe I tried to protect you too much. Here's how I'm going to support you. That's what I think is necessary here. And then let her fly.
I love, Ken, the idea of a parent taking their kid out and saying, you know what? I've been the brakes here.
Yes.
And so starting today, I'm going to be your number one fan. But if we're going to do this, we're going to go all in. And you're going to get really good at this. And you're going to take classes and you're going to work really hard and, right? And I'm going to be on the front row of your plays and I'm going to, whatever that looks like, we're going to support you. We're going to support you all in. I love that, Ken.
Well, let me tell you something. I deal with adults who call the Ken Coleman Show every day that are 35 and 45. And they feel like they don't know what they do. And as I begin to dig and ask them questions, I've had so many just break into tears, men and women. And I'll say, why didn't you pursue it? This thing that we just got out of you. And I can't tell you how many times they've said, because my mom, my dad told me to do something smart and safe. And smart and safe is sucking the soul out of people. That's what's happening. You were created to fill a unique role. You are needed. You must do it. And parents, we got to wake up, because if we try to push our kids into a safe college and a safe degree and a safe job, we might be stepping on their very souls.
I can tell you that how many
I'm fired up on
law students, pre-med students, medical students that I've talked to and then said, what are you doing here?
They can't stand
it. I have to. It's the only way. It's my only path. I minister students, any amount of students, teachers.
Doesn't matter
you don't
what
like
career.
teaching. You don't like kids.
Right.
My mom said this is what we do in our family.
Yeah.
Parents.
Follow your heart.
And not recklessly, not idiotically.
No.
And as Ken said, you'll know, I've met with a lot of students that are like, hey, I'm supposed to be a singer. And then you hear them sing and you're like, no, you're not. You're not.
Yeah.
But if your kid's got the talent, get behind them, support them. The world has plenty of people that will tell them that they're not good enough.
Yep.
Let you be their cheerleader. Get in their corner. This is The Ramsey Show. This is the Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined here with Ken Coleman. And one of my favorite things about the Ramsey Show, standing here in the lobby on the debt-free stage, is Bryce. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. Just want to say I'm grateful for being here. So thank you guys for what you do.
Well, we are glad you're here, man. So where are you from?
I'm originally from Illinois. I just moved to Houston, Texas 2 years ago.
All right.
That's my hometown.
That explains the boots. The boots look good. Those are debt-free boots, by the way.
That's exactly right. You've got a debt-free stance about you. All right, man. So what'd you pay off?
$28,750 of student debt.
Wow.
$28,050. So no other debt.
No other debt.
Just student loans. What's your degree in, man?
Occupational safety and health.
Occupational safety and health. Is that what took you to Houston?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. So
How long did that take you?
6 months.
Wow.
Oh, dude, you're not
How'd you
screwing
do
around.
that?
Luckily, I got a good job coming out of college and threw everything I had at it.
What's your range of income?
$75,000 to $82,000.
Atta boy. And that's during I've heard rumors that it was kind of a messy year or two.
Yeah.
So what happened 6 months ago that you said enough, man?
Well, I mean, I came out of school. I transferred into my university debt-free. So once I got into my university, I then graduated, and I didn't want to have that debt lingering. So
hold on. You transferred into university debt-free, and you thought, let's rock and roll?
Not a mistake, or kind of a mistake to get back into debt.
Was it party money, or was it for there you go.
Yeah. A little bit.
You guys can't hear the lobbies.
I can hear them.
It's booing him a little bit.
Yeah, they were laughing.
Giving him some grief.
They're
No,
enjoying it out there.
That's right. So
one guy's got popcorn out there. He's enjoying that line so much.
So you decided, hey, I've got 1 year left, 2 years left. Let's live it up a little bit. You lived really nice in a really nice apartment.
No, not at all.
Oh, so what'd you spend the money on?
Just stupid stuff, man.
Attaboy.
Yeah.
All right. So then you get this new job. Then what?
So I got the new job. Just from there, I just started throwing the money at the debt, and I wanted to get rid of it. I wanted to be able to have a life that I could enjoy. Because, moving down there, I had less than $1,000. All my family is backing up in Illinois. So really, I didn't know anybody, and just wanted to make sure I got that debt out of the way so I could live the life I wanted to have.
So do people give you grief for making that kind of money, driving the same car and not going out and hanging out?
Oh, yeah. All my coworkers, pretty much everybody that I know gives me the grief. I purchased a car for about $1,200.
Attaboy!
Luckily, I'm mechanically inclined, so they all told me, it's going to go down in a few months, but I fixed it, and now it's
Look at you.
a little over 40,000 miles down the drain. So.
Now, did you ever question this decision once you started getting that negative peer pressure? Did you start going, oh, man, do I really want to do this, or were you a rock?
Oh, every step of the way. I mean, I had that lingering thought. I was like, well, I could be doing that. And then, I mean, I got my student loan paid off in 6 months. So,
Yeah, how do you like them apples, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so who got you on this program?
So actually, back in high school, my grandma and grandpa bought me a book, and it was, talking about what not to do in college. So I went through college without any credit cards, still don't have a credit card. So really, they went through Financial Peace University and stuff, got me hooked on it. And then once I went to college, I had a 3-hour drive back and forth from home, and really the Dave Ramsey podcast kept me awake going back and forth from home. So
that's good. It puts a lot of people to sleep, so I'm glad it kept you awake. That's good, man.
Wow. Dave's not here today. John's feeling very brave with the jokes. So, big fella, I got a question for you. What does it feel like now on the other side of this intense 6-month run?
Just a huge sigh of relief, honestly. In the grand scheme of things, it wasn't that much debt. For me, it was a lot.
Sure.
I listen to the show and I hear, some people talk about how massive of debt they have, and I'm grateful that I got to you guys pretty soon. So
I don't want you to ever get in the comparison game starting now. Debt is debt, and $28,000 can feel like $2.8 million, right? And it weighs you down, and it keeps you from moving through life the way you want to. Who's your biggest cheerleader? Who walked alongside you in this crazy 6 months?
For sure, my parents and then my grandparents as well.
Okay. What was it like calling grandma and grandpa and letting them know, hey, guys, I transferred debt-free.
Yeah.
I had no credit cards. And then I decided, you know what, I'm a handsome guy. I need about $28,000 of just play money.
Yeah, they weren't super excited about that, but no, I'm kidding. They were super stoked.
They were happy for you. So what now? What are you going to do now?
So I'm going to go on some vacations.
Okay.
That's why I decided to fly here, because I wasn't turning down the chance to come here and talk to you guys.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
What's the key? People are listening right now. Other young fellas, young ladies out there, they're in their prime. They're out there experiencing the world. They can do a lot of fun things. But if they do what you did, they're going to have to choose to sacrifice big time, and it's not so fun. What would you tell them the key is to get through all of that?
Just be weird. Don't listen to what everybody else does. Pick your own path, and then you can be debt-free and stress-free.
Very cool.
Love it. Who you got with you today? I
who's that
see a
with
pair
you?
of shiny white boots behind the camera.
This is my girlfriend, Mackenzie Grimsley. She flew. She's just moved into Houston with me.
Okay.
She flew in with me as well.
So wait a minute. You're telling me you can be on a budget and pay off debt and have a beautiful person chase you across the country?
Yep.
I thought that was mutually exclusive.
Nope. Not now.
Any big plans you'd like to announce here on the Dave Ramsey Show live? Or excuse me, the Ramsey Show? Look at me putting him under pressure. I thought we could have a moment here. Listen, I'm not trying to put pressure on you. I'm just selfishly trying to create a great broadcasting moment.
Yeah.
No?
Listen, this
Nothing?
is all about us two. If
He
you
got
were to
quiet.
actually make this happen right now,
Yeah.
this clip lives forever. And
Yeah.
him and I benefit from
I don't know
this.
who's more embarrassed, her or him. It might be a tie. This is fantastic.
You know, I thought about it, but my best man kind of forgot the ring.
Oh,
okay.
I love how you're deflecting that and blaming it on other people.
Yeah.
Well played, man. Well played. All right, well, Bryce from Houston, Texas, paid off $28,000 in not 1 year, but 6 months during the middle of a pandemic, making $75,000 to $82,000, and he kept his girlfriend.
Yep.
Rattle it off for us, brother.
I'm debt-free!
There it is.
Oh, that was fun. He was sitting there going, boy, this is really happening. Did you see that? That was the pause. He
Yep.
looks up, and he's going, wow, I actually did this.
That's the reddest face I've seen on that stage, I think.
Well, we did put a little extra pressure on him because we can, and we'll apologize to him on the
Absolutely
break.
not.
But
you had a shot, man. He's
There
going
wa-
to do it like in a
I feel like-
restaurant in Houston
yeah.
now later on. Not going to
Well,
be near as cool.
yeah.
We tried to help you out. She actually emailed us before the show and said to pressure you. And
no,
we're sorry.
that's not true.
It's not.
Oh, my goodness.
Can you imagine? Well, I'll tell you. I didn't make anywhere near that when I graduated college.
Oh, yeah, this young man is got a bright future.
I got out,
Yeah.
and then I ended up in more debt,
Oh, yeah.
making
Yeah.
good money.
Yeah, he's
'Cause-
making between 75 and 82. Let's say he's at that 82 right now. He's in great shape. Now he's just moving along through the baby steps. Before he knows it, he's a net worth millionaire. And
his whole life is different.
yeah, his whole perspective. I love that he's taking trips. I would say to you, young man, when you take trips, use that time not just to recuperate and kind of restore yourself from a time of great sacrifice, reward yourself, but also think big. I mean, what could you do if you have no debt? What could you fund now that you don't have the tremendous burden that so many young people your age have? I got to tell you, as a guy who's always preaching live and work on purpose, now there's really nothing holding you back from what your dream is. What's your contribution that you're going to give to the world through your work and through your relationships? So, man, we're really proud of you. Thanks for sharing that debt-free screen with us. It is our favorite part of the show and always will be, because it's the moment when men and women step triumphantly across a very impressive finish line, and it's all about freedom. So thank you, sir. Really good stuff, Bryce.
And you don't know what this feels like yet, but take it from two guys with kids. Your kids will never know the stressed out dad who is worried about losing the house because you did stuff on your own. Good for you. It's legacy changing stuff, man. Good for you, Bryce. This is The Ramsey Show. 888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney with Ken Coleman, and we are taking your calls on work and purpose and relationships and your money. Let's go to Zach in Cincinnati, Ohio. Zach, what's going on?
Not much, man. Just working and living the dream, I guess.
There we go.
So what's up, man? How can we help?
So, a few months back, I bought a $30,000 car. Basically just because I needed something that was good for the winter. I had a rear-wheel drive sports car, so I bought a four-wheel drive 2017 Jeep. $29,000 in debt. I work full-time and make about $13 an hour. I'm a full-time student, but my school is paid for. So my mom kind of said, hey, let's buy this car, and then you can just use the Ramsey plan to pay it off. But after watching more of the content on YouTube,
that's not the Ramsey plan.
Yeah, we are not fans.
Exactly.
Just we should clear this up for everybody, parents included. We are not for you buying a car and then using the debt snowball to get out of it. It's not a 1-2 punch.
It's kind of, hey, you know what? High five your mom. Well played on her part.
Yeah, nice move, Mom.
Yeah.
So what's your question, Zach?
So I guess my question is, I looked up the Kelley Blue Book value. It's like between 25 and 27. I owe 28 currently. Should I, at this point, just pay down to the value and then sell the car, or because I can do that at the moment, or should I just try to take that snowball approach to it?
Give us the numbers. When you say you can pay something on it, what's that number?
So I can put probably about $2,800 on it this month to get me down into the range of the Kelley Blue Book value. I make $1,600 a month roughly. I could make more and work more and get another job over the summer to help pay the car off.
Yeah.
But like just off of what I'm going off of now, I make about $1,600 a month. I have a $500 car payment.
Yeah. Well, so it's kind of a both and. So here's what I want you to do. You need to put the $2,800 on it, but you need to be working extra hours. You can do that now. You're a young guy. Just go. Let's pay more of this down, so that when you sell it, you've got something. You've got something to play with. So you can buy a car that's $4,000 or $5,000 car that'll easily take care of you.
Yeah, and Zach, I'd even go one step further. I would see if you could list this thing tomorrow and see what you can get for it. And if you can end up, I don't mind you taking out a small loan to pay the gap off and taking that $2,800 and going to buy yourself a car with cash, a beater car, and then working really hard to get that small loan paid off. Because you're going to go from, I know it sounds weird for somebody on the Dave Rants Show to tell you to take out a loan, but you're going to go from owing, $25,000 on a depreciating asset to owing, let's say you can get 26 for it. There's a sucker somewhere. And you're going to owe that $2,000. You're going to take that $2,800. You're going to pay that $2,000 gap, and then you're going to save up a little bit of money and then buy yourself a car that's going to get you to and fro. You got no business, man, being in a $25,000 car making $1,600 a month.
The only thing I'd say is if you do John's plan, you got to have a car, or you're going to have to plan to you're borrowing a car. So if you need transportation, there's a couple ways to get this thing knocked out, but knock it out very, very quickly. This is not something I'm going to take my time with. This is let's knock it out quickly, get yourself a much cheaper car, and then start building back.
Yeah, I had $5,000 saved up on it, and truth be told, I thought it was a bad idea, but I seen the Jeep and then got kind of like,
hey, listen, don't beat yourself up. We've all had that happen at some point in our lives where, the car looks really shiny and it starts to whisper, buy me.
Hey, man. And if you get out of life with your stupid taxes, $4, $3 a year. Come on, man. Decision taxes, $4,000. Man, you've won. Dave talks about his stupid taxes had multiple commas in it. So you're good, man. You're good. Learn this lesson now as a young man and then move on, man. You're never going to do this again, and you've got a bright future ahead of you. Good for you. Hey, Ken, you have spent the last year during a chaotic season walking with people who have been furloughed, lost their job, had their cage rattled enough to go, I've been living somebody else's life for so long, and I'm not doing it anymore because life's too short. I don't know what's coming our way. Yeah. I'm going to make some changes here. You've been taking hundreds of calls throughout this year, so much so that the world has essentially demanded hey, let's do something big.
Yeah.
Walk me through what you're doing, man.
Yeah, well, so we're going to bring back a very popular Ramsey Solutions event that we did last year. I believe it was June of last year, as people were really beginning to feel the shock in the job market as it contracted so quickly. And so we're bringing back the Get Hired event. It was a wild success last year. We're going to bring it back. It's the first 3 stages of my 7 stages to meaningful work. On the Ken Coleman Show, if you're new to me as a part of the Ramsey Solutions personality group, and of course our show is a part of the Ramsey Network. So I'm helping people figure out what they were created to do in their work and then making that meaningful work a reality. And so there's 3 stages that start off our 7 stages. Get clear, get qualified, get connected. And so we're really going to hone in on those 3 stages at this Get Hired event. It is a live stream event. We're going to actually have a live crowd, John, here in Nashville.
Stop the madness, Ken.
Down in our gorgeous atrium area, and we're going to live stream it around the globe. It's April the 27th. And I would point out, for some of you, financially you're in a place where you can afford it. You're looking for a trip. You just want to get out of your state. We're doing live events. We're healthy here in Nashville. So if you want to come, it'd be a great trip. And so it's limited live seats, but most of the ticketing just starts at $20. We have multiple tiers, but just your basic ticket to watch it anywhere in the world, $20. You can purchase the tickets at daveramsey.com/events. April 27th. Put it on your calendar right now. April the 27th is our Get Hired event, and it starts at 8 Eastern, 7 Central Time. Tickets start at just $20. daveramsey.com/events. Who is it for? It's for people that are starting out. We got a lot of college kids, John, going to hit the world in May, June. It's for people that are looking to switch careers. It's people that are saying, hey, I got furloughed or I got laid off and I've been doing 2 or 3 part-time jobs. I'm ready to get back in the full-time situation and get that shovel bigger so I can get out of debt. So if you need to get hired, you just let that sit for a second. I want to get hired somewhere else. Then this event is for you. It's April 27th, 8 Eastern, 7 Central. Tickets, daveramsey.com/events. And I would say, if you want to come to Nashville, this would be a great fun trip. We're going to do some really special stuff for the live crowd. It'll be a couple hundred people, very limited, very safe, very healthy.
I think there's a 4th person I'd like to throw in there that I've heard through my show.
I always like a 4th person who could buy a ticket.
So here's the thing. I bet there are untold people. You know, we talk about the last year has been really people living in and out of a crisis.
Yep.
Business owners, small business owners, big business owners. We had the election. We've had the market roller coasters. We've had just chaos on top of chaos. Sometimes in chaos, you find out who your leadership really is. Mm-hmm. They emerge, right? And you may have been distant from your leadership. You may have been close to them. And in good times, everybody's smiling, right? And then all of a sudden, something catches fire, and you find out how people respond in chaos. You find out how people respond when things get hard, and suddenly you realize, my values don't align here anymore. Or, I don't want to be a part of this thing going forward. Mm-hmm. But you've put your time in, you've put your years in, you've on a career track, and you don't know what to do.
I love that, yeah.
And just being able to back up, like we talked about at the very beginning of this hour, you got to back way up, slow down, and start with part 1 of your plan. Got to get clear, man.
Well, it's a great point, because a lot of those folks that John just described, what you're feeling is, wait a second, I'm too successful. I've got too much money invested in my 401k here. I've been here so long. I've been very successful in this industry. And here's 2 things that happen. Number 1, you feel like you can't move on. Oh, Ken, I'm in my late 40s. I'm in my early to mid 50s. Ken, no one's going to want to hire me. That's that golden handcuff for you young people that are watching and listening to the show today. That's where that comes from. I'm making too much money. I'm too successful to change. And that's simply not true. Certainly not with the economy booming the way that it is now and technology becoming easier and easier and easier to get into. Mm-hmm. I mean, we have people that are called the Ken Coleman Show, John, mid-50s, and they'll partner with Bethel Tech, one of our partners here at Ramsey and the Ken Coleman Show. And within 9 months, for less than $15,000, they can start in technology for $75,000. That's just one example. So it's not too late.
It's not too late.
Join us at the Get Hired event. It's going to be fun.
All right, that's first hours in the books. I want to thank Zach and James running the boards and the phones. Ken, thank you so much.
Always fun to hang with you.
We'll see you soon. This is The Ramsey Show.
Have a friend or family member that needs a daily dose of Ramsey advice in their life? Let them know about the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast. It's a quick hit of advice about life and money in under 10 minutes. Check out the Ramsey Call of the Day podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio. This is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, your work, your relationships, your purpose, and your money. I am John Deloney, joined here by best-selling author and good man Ken Coleman, and we are taking your calls on just about everything.
Yeah.
888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. We have a packed lobby out there.
So exciting
it's good to see everybody.
People.
Smiling faces.
Beautiful folks out there.
Spring breakers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I just made that up.
I got to tell you, those don't look like spring breakers to me.
They all look really young and youthful to me.
These people look very wealthy because they have financial peace. These people look determined because they're on their baby steps. These people look happy because they're indoors.
I think that's ageist of you.
Drinking good coffee, having great baked goods that you get here at Ramsey Solutions. I don't think we mentioned that enough, James. That even though we're in our new building, you get the same incredible delectables, your cold beverages, your hot beverage. I should point out, non-alcoholic.
You would.
Yeah, well, I just don't want people. I don't want people coming for a kegger and understand that it's a coffee shop, you know. But we have
a line of high school kids out there.
Has everybody had some baked goods today? They're mostly shaking their head. Yeah,
that's fantastic.
Yeah, a couple of ladies are like, no, I'm watching my figure.
Nope, that guy right there is.
Thank you very much.
But hey, we support you, man. All right, 888-825-5225. Let's go to Josh in Johnson City. Josh, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, John? How you doing, Ken?
We're living the dream. What's up?
All right. So my question for you guys is, I'm working on starting up my my own personal business, and I've been doing a ton of research lately. I'm trying to figure out what the best things that I got to do are, and one of them is business entities. I'm looking into sole proprietor and LLC, more specifically those two. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to figure out if you guys could answer or even like point me in the right direction, what I need to be looking forward to specifically, because I don't really want to lose my assets because somebody decides to sue me for a random reason.
Right. What's the business?
Funny enough, because of Ramsey Solution, thanks guys, I'm looking to be a financial coach.
Yeah, you don't need to have an LLC for protection on that. Again, it's not going to hurt you if you wanted to choose an LLC. It's not like it's going to have this huge differentiation for you from a tax standpoint and being a sole proprietor. So if it were me personally, having owned my own company before I came to Ramsey, we were sole proprietors because of the nature of the business we were in. It wasn't this litigious type business. And as a financial coach, I think you're okay. But if you want to do the LLC to make you sleep better at night, that's fine too.
And that's a pretty low lift.
Very low lift. There's not like this major choice you have. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not like you may have a little bit more paperwork to fill out from the LLC. So as far as doing the research there, you just do your research on what you're setting up and the filing and all that kind of stuff. But it's really not that huge of a difference. I don't think you have to do an LLC here, but if you would like to, fine.
Okay. It's as simple as calling a local attorney and getting it set up.
Yeah. Not a major decision is my point. Do the homework, talk to an attorney on this, make sure you have all the nuances and understand it all, but this is not a bad decision one way or the other.
Yeah. All right, let's go to Eric in Jackson, Mississippi. Eric, what's going on?
How you doing, Ken?
Man, I am living the dream. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. How you guys doing today?
We are doing outstanding.
Hey, look,
what's up, man? How can we help?
Okay, look, the question I have a dilemma. I have about $6,000 that I have saved up, and I need to pay it towards my debt. I only have two debts, which are about $5,000 in credit cards and I have an auto loan which I owe about $3,900 on. I was wanting to know which way do you think I should go with the $6,000, as far as going to pay these debts off.
Man, that's a great question, dude. Congratulations. You're almost there, brother. That's awesome. So you got $6,000
It's been a long time coming.
Hey, man. Hey, and you know what? You get to the finish line and you turn that corner of that marathon and you just see that finish line. It says 1 mile, right? And you start stumbling and smiling and drooling. You're almost there, man. All right, so just keep following the baby steps. So you said you've got a $5,000 credit card and $3,900 auto loan?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. So before today is over, I want you to take $3,900 of that $6,000, and that car is going to be yours and nobody else's today. Okay?
Yes, sir.
And then you're going to take the rest of that, dump that over the credit card, keep it. Make sure you got that $1,000 in your emergency fund, and then you are going to just scratch and claw and get the rest of that credit card done. And then you're going to call this show back, or you're going to come down here and visit us, and we're going to do your debt-free scream right here in the lobby. Is that cool?
Yes, sir.
You got that,
sir.
Eric? So here's the deal. You got you got $6,000 in savings. You're gonna keep $1,000 in the savings, all right? And then $5 goes to the $3,900, right? You're gonna wipe that out. That leaves $1,100. All right, I got my shoes off so I could count that high, okay? And so we take the $1,100 and you put it into the $5,000 on the credit card, and now we are starting to cook. Now you got $3,900 left, and then you're attacking this thing, man. That's a great.
How long have you been on this journey, Eric?
To be honest, man, about a year and a half now.
You were so close.
Man, how much you paid off?
I started off watching you guys. Man, I had about $33,000 altogether.
Ooh, Eric. Now, this might be worth a trip to Nashville to stand on that debt-free stage over there, and we won't know who's hosting that day, but you need to do that. You need to consider that.
Man, look, that's really a part of the journey, man.
Come
really
on.
A big piece that I think I'll be missing, man.
I think so.
Good.
Jackson, Mississippi's not that far away.
Yeah,
I'm
you
holding
can
you
drive
to it.
here. We can't wait.
No, sir, not at all. Not at all.
All right, so by the end of today, you own that car outright, and then you are just throwing everything you've got left at
Not
that
even into
credit card.
today. I mean, let's put him on hold and start writing checks.
Exactly.
Hey,
Don't even hang up yet.
What are we waiting on? There's 47 minutes in this hour. It needs to be before the hour is out.
I love it.
Pay this stuff
Pay
off.
the car off, baby.
That's exciting. He's going to have $3,900 left. He's going to knock that out fast. That's huge.
I remember that last little construction paper chain we had left. Mm-hmm. This is how romantic I am, Ken. When my wife and I were going through this, we had 6 figures in our debt, and we created one of those construction paper chains, and I'm so romantic. I hung it in our bedroom. I never wanted to not see it. And, man, did not make for great bedroom decor, but it made for every morning you wake up and you see it, and every night you go to sleep and you see it. It made me a little bit nuts. But I remember that last chain, and it just sat there and stared at us because it was a big one, right? But then finally getting that thing done.
It's fun.
Oh, man.
Did you rip it off the wall? I mean, what was the...
No, it was a little bit dramatic. This is going to shock the listeners. I can be a little bit melodramatic.
That's why I set you up on this one.
No, it was a slow, pulled the tack out gently. My heart beat. It felt a little Hallmarky. My wife rolled her eyes and just walked into the next room.
Nothing about that was romantic or Hallmarky. You kept saying romantic, and it just felt like crafts, arts and crafts.
It's arts and crafts.
Like elementary school, they have those chains
but
on
the
the
music
wall.
swelled. No music actually did swell, but in my heart it did. And it just came louder, and there was no confetti or nothing. My wife's like, cool, hey, make sure when you go to the store, get some bananas. It was kind of low-key.
Yeah.
I was excited. That's the kind of free advice you get on this show, baby. This is The Ramsey Show.
Cliff and I joined Christian Healthcare Ministries because we really liked the concept of Christians sharing each other's burdens. And we really experienced that firsthand when Cliff was diagnosed with heart disease. It was just such a relief to know that financial burden was going to be taken care of.
CHM is the original and longest-serving health cost-sharing ministry. Get started today and check us out at chministries.org/budget.
888-825-5225. It's 888-825-5225. I'm John Deloney. This is Ken Coleman on The Ramsey Show, taking your calls about work and life and money. Let's go to Regina in Nashville, right down the street. What's up, Regina?
Hi, Ken. Hi, John. Thanks for taking my call. I'm doing good today. Just trying to get my act together and find some work.
Regina, we're all trying to get our act together.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling. What's up?
Well, we moved to the area back in October, and I've been trying to find some work. Office work is what I've, done like for the last 20-some years. I've got my eyes set on becoming a loan signing agent in the future, and have to do some training and take the exams and stuff for that. But I really would like to get some type of an office job sooner than later, because the money is running out, and I don't really want to go do retail or any place like that where I have to work on weekends, because I want some time to spend with my husband on the weekends. But I haven't really been having a whole lot of luck as far as office work that's available. I want to stay out of the health field just because of the corona situation that's going on. So just wondered, what's a way to boost, where the progress that I'm not making.
Sure.
I don't feel like I'm making any headway.
Okay, so let me ask you what you've done so far. Let's look at your process for getting hired. So have you just been submitting resumes just kind of cold without any kind of contacts at companies, just submitting those online or however that works? Answer that for me, as well as have you gotten any interviews, and what's that process been like?
Okay, so I have been doing some, cold sending resumes out to companies. I've worked with a couple of temp agencies to see if they could get me some work. But, with the holidays and whatnot, it was kind of slow, and things are just starting to pick up. So I have had a few nibbles. Last week I went out on 2 interviews, and I had a phone interview. And the one interview may look prosperous. They did offer to bring me on board for a day to take a look at what the process is in the office as far as. And
what did you say? Did you say yes? I'll be there.
Oh, you betcha.
Okay, when is that?
That's going to be this week.
Okay, great. Okay, so here's the thing. You just need you need encouragement, and I'm going to give you that, but you also need some better tactics, okay? Now, the reality is that you're new to Nashville. You moved here in October, so you don't have a ton of friends, and I understand we've been in a COVID kind of a situation where, socializing is a little bit different. But the reality is that you need to be a little bit more open to, when you say office work, I think you need to expand the search. You're looking for any type of administrative type work that you can do, where you can just be in there and you're helping out. And the good news is you got a couple of interviews. You're starting to see some traction. I would continue with the temp agency as well, because many times temp agencies are the key to getting in a place and getting that full-time employment. So I would. Here's my point. I want lots of buckets out in front of you. Okay, and I'm in this bucket. I'm going to the temp agency. In this bucket over here, I've got a couple of companies that I've heard good things about, and I want to find a way to make some connections over there, even though I've not been in Nashville very long. And that's the idea of thinking about your connections. Now, here's what we know, John, from sociology research, and that is that most people get their jobs through acquaintances, not through close friends and family. So I get this call a lot on the Ken Coleman Show. People say, Ken, here's the problem. I don't know anybody. And that's never true.
Right.
Well, let me just shock everybody listening and watching today. Even if you think you don't know a whole lot of people, you know everybody you need to know to get where you want to go. So what has to happen here is, there's an old game, I don't know if many young people have heard of, the 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, that people would play. Yeah. And they basically throw out Kevin Bacon and, let's say, Denzel Washington, and you basically had to connect the two, through 7 connections or less, right, from movies that they both starred in. And sometimes they may star in the same movie. But the idea is like you just play this connection game. And that's what has to happen here, because acquaintances, John, not lifelong friends, people I've known forever. And so if we need more acquaintances, then guess what we need to do? I'm going to let this sit, John, because I'm about ready to drop some depth. If we need more acquaintances, they keep moving the camera light on me downstairs. I'm like trying to find the camera light. Here, if we need more acquaintances, guess what we need to do? Get acquainted.
Stop it, Ken.
John, I think take over from there because
cars are screeching across America.
I just blew my own mind. I need to sit back and take a sip of water.
So what you're telling me, again, the presses have all stopped, that I need to get out and communicate with other people?
Yeah. Start getting acquainted and saying, hey, I'm looking for an administrative type job. I'm looking for a job in an office over here.
But I thought I could just get online and just cold submit my resume to a million people.
Sure, you can, but guess what? It's like playing the job lottery. Go look up the odds for winning the lottery.
It's not great.
People are getting more and more inundated. And I shared this article on the Ken Coleman Show last week. More and more, John, people are being interviewed in the first initial 2 or 3 interviews by artificial intelligence. Because HR can't keep up with all the demands. So they've got these keywords they're looking for, and they're asking you questions, and you're looking into a screen, and they're analyzing your answers, your facial recognition.
What?
True story. It's happening. All over the place.
Wow.
Yeah. So the human connection is really, really important. And again, you can't say, well, I don't know anybody, Regina, because you do. And you need to know more people. So that's first thing. Second thing is go to my website, kencoleman.com. We've got 3 free, they're all free, Get Hired guides. And you need to redo your resume. We've got a wonderful template, tell you how to do it. Hundreds of thousands of people have done it. It makes you stand out because I flip it upside down. And you can go check that out. Then you got the how to win the interview. And then third, how to follow up. Those 3 guides, if you do it the way I tell you to do it, and you make some more acquaintances and tell more people what kind of work you're looking for, this is a very hot job market in Nashville. You can get hired right now.
So what do you tell somebody, and I've had this conversation, I can't even tell you how many times I've had this conversation, particularly with graduating students.
Yeah.
Whose acquaintance network doesn't, quote unquote, know of anything right now.
Right.
At some point, they begin getting the message, hey, we wouldn't hire you.
Right.
Right. What do you tell somebody who's getting that negative feedback, right? Either explicitly or not explicitly.
Well, more and more in our world, we don't get much feedback.
Right.
So I want to correct your analogy or your metaphor so that people understand you don't get a lot of feedback these days. Even if you get to the interview level.
Right.
They'll say, you know what, we chose another candidate. Now, there's a couple reasons why.
It's so litigious, man. Everyone's
very litigious. The second reason is we as humans don't like to be confrontational, and that feels like a confrontation, just telling somebody we chose somebody else. And then the third reason is that they've got so many candidates that they can't really give you a detailed description in their mind. They can't. I feel like we should. I feel we owe it to people. But the reality is we run on an efficiency table in this world. So because of that, if you have real feedback, well, then we want to look at it.
Right.
It gets back to what I teach. Let's get clear. Stage 1 of my 7 stages to meaningful work is get clear on what you do best, talent. Hard skills and soft skills. Get clear on the work you love to do. Passion. I get excited when I think about this work. I get excited when I'm in the middle of this work. And then finally, get clear about what results that you want to put into this world, results you want to accomplish through your work. That's meaningful work because it's on purpose. I use what I do best, John, to do work I love, to accomplish results that matter to me. So we got to take that negative feedback and go, oh, where am I off?
So that's what I'm getting at. If you find yourself in a loop, ask somebody.
Yeah, get real feedback. Hey, do I have the talent to pull this off? Do I have the chops?
Is this on me?
Yes.
And if somebody has the courage and the vulnerability and they are brave and says, hey, can we just talk? Is this on me? Tell them the truth.
Yep.
Tell them the truth.
That's right.
It's so hard to ask for real feedback, right? It's hard. And that sometimes somebody can't get clear on their own and they need other people to help them, right?
Need a mirror. Do we see ourselves the way the world sees us? Yeah. Many don't. It's great advice.
That's a gift to be asking, to be asked. Be honest and gentle.
John, look what I see over there. Coming up next, a debt-free scream live from the Ramsey Solutions lobby. This is The Ramsey Show.
the debt-free stage, Sutton and Madison. Usually, when a couple is standing on the debt-free stage, that means they've got remarkable news to share with us. Yeah. So, what's the story?
I sure think we do.
What's the story?
Yes. We paid off $44,200.
$44,200. How long did it take you?
9 months and 5 days.
Whoa. 9 months in 5 days. Not that we're counting. What was your range of income during this time?
Started around $43,000, ended up around $54,000.
Ooh, I'm always curious with this one. What did you do to raise the income?
Lots of side jobs. Madison got a job working at her college's bookstore part-time. I got a job at a production company doing a 24/7 sports talk show. So I had to get up at like 4 a.m. and go do that before work.
My man. Now, Are you in broadcasting, or is this just something you've always kind of wanted to do and you just jumped into it to make some extra dough?
I've always loved broadcast. I'm actually a worship pastor at a church.
Are you really?
So I had a few of the skills, and obviously with COVID, had to learn how to do broadcast with pretty much everything.
Yeah. Hey, I started out doing sports radio.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I got a little special place in my heart for that.
And look at this shining example right here, right? That's awesome.
It's perfect.
Okay, so 43 to 54, you said?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of money to pay off in 9 months. Did you sell something or someone? How did you do this?
We both had a little bit of savings when we got married, and we had a wedding in there too. So any monetary gift that we received for the wedding, we threw right at the debt. So thank you, everyone.
So you didn't get the super juicer. 1,400.
Yeah.
You didn't
we got a few of those, but not a lot of them.
Okay, good. So you sold them. Sounds like you sold them. Yeah.
No, we didn't sell any of our wedding gifts.
No.
Promise. We have them all. Yeah.
By the way, it was just a joke, but thank you for clarifying. We don't want to upset anybody in their registry. No, not a good idea. So what was the moment when you said, okay, we're going to do this as a young couple?
Well, when I was a kid, my Nana Sue gave me the Dave Ramsey Kids.
Nana Sue.
Yeah.
Nana Sue coming through in the clutch.
And I had all the envelopes, the giving, saving, and spending, even when we got married. But I remember after we got engaged, we started doing some counseling, and I kind of told Sutton he had some student loans, and I said those really scare me. They're saying it's going to take 15 years to pay them back, and that's a really big commitment. And so he said, okay, I'll do some research. He found some Dave Ramsey videos. We're like, okay, we might be able to do that, sooner than 15 years. And then over quarantine, when there was a sale on Financial Peace University, we did that. And I just remember we got to that last lesson talking about how, you do all this so you can be radically generous and just do what, the Bible calls us to do. And we kind of sat there and thought, well, we want to be those people, who can just give someone a car or just say, oh, yeah, we're going to pay off your college tuition. And so, just having that in mind, we decided this isn't going to be, 10 or 5 years, but we want to just get this done this year.
Let's knock it out.
Yeah, so that was our motivation.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So walk somebody through, you get married, people hand you cash.
Yeah.
Yes.
And they smile and twinkle, and they say, you will never be able to just throw money away. This is what this money's for.
Mm-hmm.
And you two folks decide to pay off debt.
Yes.
Walk us through how that felt.
It is painful at first because there are those shiny new golf clubs, shiny new guitars, all these things that I would love to own.
Yes.
Yes.
But I can one day, as long as we are super intentional right now.
For those of you listening and not watching, I just saw pain shoot through him as he paused.
Yes.
Right?
But I'm the opposite. So even he's a spender, I'm a saver. So on the flip side, I wouldn't even want to use the money with the debt for the first baby step. I mean, I like draining the savings down to 1,000.
Yeah, freaked you out.
That's my worst nightmare. Yeah.
Yes.
So on the flip, even if you're not a spender, I mean, I still was like, we can't just spend our savings on, loans. So even that was.
And that's where people thought we were crazy too, going down to that $1,000. But if we hadn't done that, we'd still be in debt right now.
So what was the debt? Student loans? What else?
It was pretty much all student loans, but that shiny thing on her finger was a little bit of it too, which I'm glad we did it. She's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
But hey, but to all the guys out there, isn't it romantic buying a nice ring that your then new wife has to help pay off, right? That just feels gross, right?
I had it paid off before we got married.
He did in his
okay.
defense,
All right.
Yeah.
So, walk us through this moment. You came to him. He came to you. You both said, "We're in."
Yes.
Yeah.
Walk us through that. Like, who started that conversation? And I'm painting a picture here for couples who are like, I don't know how to. It's kind of. When was the moment you said, "This is it. We're doing this"?
Yeah, Madison, as she said, she was concerned about the debt. I was okay to spending $150 a month for 10 years doing it because I didn't feel like it would have inconvenienced us that much. But when she kind of laid out the plan, the goals for us that we wanted to be radically generous. We got to do it differently to get there. So we just decided, hey, let's get this all done.
Yeah. And I'd say, on a similar note, it can seem sometimes logical. For instance, I mean, we're thinking, oh, we'll just keep paying, those minimum payments. We can do that, and how we'll still be able, to be generous. We can still give, but just through paying it off so fast, I mean, now we're just able to do so much more with our finances, and just knowing that we'll never be back in that place, it just gives you the freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah, we're done with that forever.
Well, I got to ask, John, really quick. What are you dreaming about? Is there a specific radical generosity, even if it's somewhat small, in this frame of life right now? Because when you talk about that as your motivation, that gives me goosebumps all over. How do you want to be radically generous?
I mean, I've obviously mentioned those two examples. Those are in the videos if you don't do Dave Ramsey. But so obviously that would be the end goal. But I mean, even now, I know one thing is we've talked about just when you're at coffee or dinner with a friend, just saying, I can grab that. Yeah. Which is something, I mean, again, we both said before this, we thought, we're really generous. But that's something neither of us would probably ever do. Like, I'll just grab your $10 dinner. So, and that's also just such a great way to be a blessing to someone, because when you start doing that, it's just crazy how you think it's so small, but someone's reaction is like, oh, you're going to pay for my dinner? And so
let me tell you what's going to happen, and this is really to our entire audience. When you have a mind for that, and then you have the freedom to do it, and again, radical will change in numbers as you keep saving money and you guys keep living this way. But what you're going to find is people are going to present themselves to you. People you didn't see before are going to pop right in front of you, and you're going to know. Right there, I got to do that. I'm supposed to help them. You watch that.
And you do it with a smile. So who are your biggest cheerleaders?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously both of our parents, his parents are here today, cool. And my parents, and they, in our extended family, have just been such a great example to us of what it means to be generous, and also being really disciplined with your finances. And also in a weird way, a lot of them knew we were doing the Ramsey plan, but we didn't really tell them, or they didn't know how intense. So I think they were all kind of a little shocked when we just came one day. We're like, oh yeah, we paid that all off. But
we're done.
So what would you tell people the number one key to getting out of debt is?
So if you're married, you and your spouse have to be on the same page. You have your big goal that you're trying to achieve. And after we did that, the other things in our marriage that could have caused conflicts, it kind of all worked itself out, because we are working on the same team. We're aligned in our goals, and we're just trying to accomplish the same stuff. So.
And I'd say that, I mean, it is a sacrifice, and it is painful, and it, depending on your circumstance, could be so painful, but it's, in the grand scheme of your life, that's just so short. For the rest of your life, you're going to be free, and you're going to be blessed. And I know that, I mean, the Lord has blessed us in this journey, and in turn, you can be a blessing to other people. And when you have that in the end goal in mind, I mean, you can do anything, and you're going to get there.
Sutton and Madison paid off $44,200 in 9 months and 5 days, making $43,000 to $54,000. Count them down.
Ready?
3, 2,
1. We're debt free!
Oh, that's so cool. Look at that. They got the champion pose, the interlocked hands above the shoulders. We did it, and they did it. So good.
And to think, I can't imagine being a newlywed and thinking, let's get out of debt, not so we can add 7 more bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. Let's get out of debt so we can just give like crazy.
Yeah.
Let's go through a journey together so that we can learn how to talk to one another and communicate to one another and hold each other accountable and have hard conversations so that when hard conversation after hard conversation comes up over the next 20, 30, 40, 50 years, we're ready for it.
What a great couple.
That's
what
incredible.
a great future. And you watch. God will bring so much increase to them because he knows they're going to give it away. You watch.
Sutton and Madison
really incredible.
from Kansas City, Missouri. We're proud of you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing your journey. This is The Ramsey Show. 888 825 5225. This is The Ramsey Show. I'm John Deloney, joined here by Ken Coleman. Ever ask questions like, how much should I be saving? Or how do I pay off debt even faster? Or even, what's the right way to invest? Here's the good news. You don't have to figure out the answers on your own. Ramsey Plus will guide you every step of the way. With a Ramsey Plus membership, you get all the digital teaching you need to really understand money so you can be confident you're always doing the right next thing. Plus, the budgeting app, tools, and guided action steps to help you make progress on your money goals fast. That means no more debt, cash in the bank for emergencies, because not if, but when emergencies happen, and a real plan for your future. Ramsey Plus helps you get small, consistent wins every day that lead to big results and lifelong habits. Get started today with a free trial at DaveRamsey.com. That's DaveRamsey.com. Let's go to Dan in Boise, Idaho. Dan, what's going on?
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call. I just got a quick question for you about a job change my wife had.
Fantastic.
Recently.
What's up?
Well, she got pushed out of her long-time stable job under the guise of reorganization. And luckily we've done well enough where financially it's not going to hit us real hard. And she right away started looking for new work and got offered a job. And then she accepted that job. And then a week later, she got offered a different job that pays more than she was making at her old job. And I'm not sure. I don't want to push her in any direction whatsoever, but I just, I'm not sure how to handle, which one should she take,
let's start with what she wants. What does she want to do right now?
Well, and I'm totally cool with whatever she wants to do. Don't get me wrong. And she wants to take a step back. She had a very time-intensive job where she worked 60, 80 hours a week in certain months of the year. And she wants to take a step back, work part-time, which I'm fine with, and get her benefits that way. And I just look into the future. I don't want to work forever.
Okay, but hold on. I understand what you're telling me, but I'm just simply trying to understand. She just took one job. She's in that job right now. She got offered another job, and you're trying to say which one should she take? And I've got an opinion, but it's based on what you tell me. And so I want to know: is she herself right now leaning towards this new opportunity that just came along?
Or are you seeing dollar signs as her husband?
And you're trying to go, hey, let's do this for a while.
Check out this shiny toy.
Yeah. So where is she? She
wants to follow through with a part-time job, which is totally fine.
Is that the one she's in right now?
That's the one she's in. She just did the orientation for today.
Got it. So if she were to take the one that just got offered, that's back into the full-time deal, and she doesn't want to do that.
Correct. Not right now.
So I think it's pretty straightforward. If my wife is in this situation, I know that I'd probably want the more money myself. But if I'm talking to Stacy and I'm going, Stace, what do you want to do, babe? And she's going, man, you know what? Yeah. I've been doing this 60 hours every seasonal for a long time, and I'd like to just start to step back. I got a good part-time job right now. This is what I want, and I've got it. I want to stay put. Sounds like that's the right decision.
Yeah, and that's that's what I thought too. It's just you got that shiny number out there that I'm just like, well, we could really get ahead, or but I understand she wants to take a step back. That's fine.
Then that's what I go with. That's what I would go with.
Man, and I would. How long you been married?
13 years.
13 years.
Let me ask something, John. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I want to make sure. I didn't ask you this, Dan.
Yeah.
What does get ahead mean? Is that pay off debt, or is that just savings and retirement? What does that mean, get ahead?
It's a little bit of both. I've been listening to the program for a while, and I really want to get debt free, and we have been working towards that goal. But she has her idea of the way she wants to do it, and I have my, your guys' idea or Dave's idea of how he wants to do it.
Okay.
See, that's what I was getting at.
A little different.
You guys have there's something else going on here, man.
Yeah.
What else?
The question you asked is not the question you should have asked.
Yeah. Tell us what's going on in your marriage, man. It sounds like there's a fracture there.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a fracture. It's hard for me to
I don't know if it's, just explain how this would all work out if we just went this direction versus what she wants to. She's a saver, and we have quite a bit in savings. We probably have enough in savings to pay off the debt that I want to pay off.
Right.
But she doesn't want to go down. She doesn't want to get rid of that safety net, and which I get.
How much debt do you have?
But total, we have about, I'd say, 45.
How much do you have in savings?
The debt that I wanted to pay off. So we have about 25 in savings.
What do you mean the debt you want to pay off? There's some debt you just like to hold on to for a long time because you got a great relationship with it?
No.
You realize what show you're calling.
Clarify here.
Yeah, please do.
I know. I know. Stupid question. So I have a student loan that I refinanced, and I want to get rid of that. And we have a HELOC that we're done with that I want to pay off because that has a chance for the rate to change.
Okay, what's your total debt? Stop giving me all the conditions. What's your total debt? Debt you want and debt you don't want.
45.
Okay, 45. So you did give me the whole number. Okay, and then you have 25 in savings. Okay.
Yep.
How big of a hit did she take? Just give me a ballpark idea how much of a hit she took financially by going from full-time to part-time.
Oh, she's probably only going to make a third of what she would.
Okay.
Why is she fried, man?
Part of it was the atmosphere that she was in. Very male-dominated, kind of, toxic, that kind of deal. And it just, the place where she was working for 23 years, it started out as a family situation, and now it's just gone straight corporate, very different atmosphere.
Sure.
And she's just kind of done with that whole organization.
So when you sit down and talk to her and say, hey, we've got this $45,000. There's a proven plan, 6 million people. What is her response? What is it about the way you present this that makes her think I'm out?
She just wants to have the money in savings in case something happens. And I've framed it like, well, something can happen all the time.
Right.
That doesn't really matter.
So here's what I'm going to tell you. When you called the show, you talked about you don't want to have to work forever. You talked about you don't want her to turn this money down. You want two guys on the radio to tell your wife what she should be doing. You want to pay off your student loan. And so here's what I want to challenge you with. You gave me a lot of what you want to do. And within 3 or 4 minutes, it sounds like your wife has come from a very toxic, to use your words, male-dominated world that didn't listen to her, that was telling her what to do. And I'm wondering if she's getting that from you too. And I'd love to see you sit down and say, hey, you know what we could be doing? Because what you're doing there is giving information. You're giving an answer to a question she really hasn't even asked yet.
Right.
And right now she's defaulting to safety. I want you to sit down and say, not that kind of that conversation, but what do we want to do? 2 years, 3 years, 5 years? You're fried. I love the fact that you found this cool opportunity. It's going to cost us a lot of money. To us, not you, not me, but us. What do we want to do, and where do we want to move towards? What do we want to move forward towards? And I want you to give her an environment where she can dream openly. Because my guess is you love her so much that you want to give her the right information, and a lot of times we can drown the people that we love with the right answers and more information. And really they just want to be heard. They just want to know that things are safe, and so they default to savings accounts or jobs or other things to try to grab safety. I want you to reach out and connect with her. Man, thank you so much for that call, Dan. Ken, another hour in the books. James, Zach, you guys are both handsome and professionals. Doing a great job. This is The Ramsey Show.
This is James Childs, producer of The Ramsey Show. You can listen to all our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. Browse by topic or even send clips to your friends. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today.
This is The Ramsey Show. You can be intentional about your character. You can have money and a career. You are the hero in your story.
Live from the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Dollar Car Rental Studio, this is The Ramsey Show, where America hangs out to have a conversation about your life, your work, your money, and your purpose. I am John Deloney, joined here with best-selling author Ken Coleman, and we are taking your calls on pretty much anything. 888-825-5225. Ken, how are things going on in your world?
Well, I got to tell you, John, we are having a blast getting ready for what I think is going to be a massive job boom. I am very, very expectant.
Yes.
And that is because we see unemployment numbers getting a little bit better, but more importantly, we see as more and more states begin to open up, states that have been under a pretty strict lockdown, we're going to see the industry that was really the hardest hit because of COVID, and that was really the what I would call the hospitality industry.
Yeah.
So that's hotels, bars, restaurants, amusement parks, any kind of touristy type thing. And as we see those sites and types of businesses come back on board, I think you're going to see a lot of spike in employment. I also think because a lot of people are sitting and kind of hunkering down. I shared this last week on the Ken Coleman Show. A lot of people hunkering down, kind of going, "Ooh, wait a second." Maybe a lot of people that are working on their baby steps, John. They're going, "Hey, I want to make a move. Feel like now's the right time to make a move, but I'm not ready yet. I want to see how this economy kind of shakes out." So all that said, John, we're super excited with what we're doing here at Ramsey Solutions to help people get hired. And I know that you're excited because you came out with a book that I think we call it a Ramsey quick read. The bottom line is it's a small book. It's kind of the book that I like, right?
It's a pamphlet, right?
Get it to me, baby.
It's for my buddies that I grew up with.
Where's
right?
the beef? One of my favorite old Wendy's commercials, right?
Oh, where's the beef?
Yeah, the
Yes.
little lady rolls up. Where's that beef?
Yes.
You know, and you did this, Redefining Anxiety. I mean, that's a pretty bold title.
Yeah, man. It actually was a throwaway line here. We kept getting calls on the show about how do I deal with this? How do I deal with this? How do I stop this? And it was just a throwaway line. Man, anxiety's not the problem. Our lives are, right? These lives that we've been told are.
Well, the book has hit a nerve.
It has, man. And I think we projected to sell about 72 copies, and we have sold tens and tens and tens of thousands. So it's been a fun trajectory, man.
JohnDeloney.com, DELONY. I want to make sure you folks know about this resource because it is an 80-page read, and it's going to give you a tremendous amount of practical wisdom, but it's really going to give you hope, and you can read it and immediately begin to apply.
That's the big thing, man. Man, you do not have to be crippled and burdened by this.
Do not. So we're taking calls. Hey, are you dealing with some anxiety at work? John and I'll tag team that one right there together. We'll take on what's going on in the work situation, what your options are. John will talk to you about how to really deal with that. Difficult relationships, toxic workplace, huge reason for a lot of unhappiness. Some of you struggling financially, going, "Hey, I've heard about the show. I've just been listening. I don't know where to start. I'm on board. My spouse isn't on board." Uh-oh. That's a John Deloney special. We got a money issue, but it's really a relationship issue. So here's the point. We're here. We're a toll-free number away from clarity and confidence to move forward.
That's right. 888-825-5225. Let's go out to Garrett in Amarillo, Texas. Amarillo by afternoon, Garrett. How are we doing?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. What's up, brother? How can we help?
Okay, so for context, my wife and I are on baby step 2. We started in the start of 2020, and we have paid off up until this point $50,000.
Way to go,
roughly,
dude!
In student loans and a car.
Way to go, brother!
What we have left is right around $21,000, and in savings at this moment, we have just under $20,000 because we're in stork mode with a baby coming next month.
Okay.
Is this your first baby?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
So my question is, by the time we get there, with what is going on in Congress, which I don't expect them to do anything good, but if there's a chance
what?
of...
Wait, what, Garrett? What?
Why so cynical?
If
I don't
there's a chance of it being forgiven, should we let them have the chance of paying it off and pay for these medical bills that will be coming from the baby instead of paying it off up front? Does that make sense?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So when's your baby due, Garrett?
April 25th.
Girl or boy?
Girl.
Uh-oh.
First one?
Yeah.
First one, yeah.
Brother, congratulations, man. Yeah, that's awesome.
And John and I are both girl dads, and I got to tell you, it's pretty awesome.
You think you understand what's in your heart, Garrett?
No.
You have no idea. You were going to have a capacity for love that you did not know was available. Right. Your West Texas buddies are going to be laughing at you because you're going to want to sit at home and hug a tiny little daughter instead of hanging out like you used to. Here's the thing, man.
Yes, sir.
It's April. It's into April's when your baby's due. I would hang on to that money. It's not going anywhere. And this has nothing to do with Congress, man. I don't trust that situation as far as I can throw it or see it. Or every click's going to tell you something different. So I would move that off to the side. I wouldn't even think about that. You've got way more important things to think about, which is the arrival of your baby girl. You guys are basically sitting on being debt-free, but I want you to pile up that cash for another couple of months, get through this season, make sure it's going to be, but make sure everything's smooth, you guys. And don't spend this on a new bassinet. Don't get anything fancy. Keep living the way you're living, but hang on to that cash. And then, man, you get into May, get into June, and everything's good. Yeah. Go ahead and be debt-free so your little baby girl has no idea what that type of stress looks like.
Hey, Garrett, I understand why you called and why you asked this question. It's your first baby, and you guys don't even know what you don't know. Welcome to parenthood, by the way. That never changes. I've got 3 teenagers right now, and I'm reminded every second of every day that I don't know what I don't know. But one exercise that I would like you to at least play out on paper is, do you have health care? So the baby, most of the expenses are through health care, or no?
We do. Our max out-of-pocket is $4,000.
Okay.
And so I was wondering if we need to just pay that $4,000 out instead of putting it putting on student loans instead of paying the hospital bills and adding that to the debt snowball. So we're getting rid of student loans completely instead of hospital bills. Does that make sense?
No. Pay your bills as they come.
Pay the bills. So this is the exercise right here. So we know you're going to have max out of pocket $4,000 just for the delivery in the hospital, right? Assuming everything goes smoothly. So there's $4,000. Okay, and you said you have 21 set aside. Is that right?
Just under 20 set aside and 21 remain.
I'm sorry. Got it. So let's just call it 19 and change, so almost 20. So you got the 4 out of pocket, and then I want you to talk to some young couples in the area. You guys know some young couples that got babies?
We do, yes.
Yeah. Get an idea from them what they spent on diapers over the last 2-3 months. They'll tell you.
$1 million.
Yeah, well, it's really not that much. And then baby food and whatever else. I want you guys to really play this out because you've been walking the baby steps, so you're used to writing stuff down. I just want you to be aware right now what the increase in cost is gonna be ballpark.
The impact budget.
The budget, because I think you'll be surprised. But we are okay, and we tell folks this. Pause the baby steps as you get into baby. But once you get that budget reset, you pay cash for that out-of-pocket expense of the hospital, and baby's beautiful and she's at home. Then I would really aggressively return and pay off a big chunk of those remaining loans. You guys are almost there. So do your homework first. You're not going to need all that money just because baby's coming, I promise.
And Garrett, stop by the flower shop on the way and make sure you're the first man to buy that little girl flowers.
Great advice. John making everybody cry right now.
Nope. Just making sure that girl knows.
That's right.
Who loves her.
I agree, man. I agree.
Awesome time for you guys. This is The Ramsey Show.
What makes our show unique is that we genuinely care about our listeners. We're intentional about choosing the best advertisers to recommend. Blinds.com is no exception. They offer high-quality window treatments at unbelievable prices, and they make it simple to shop blinds, shades, and interior shutters with easy online ordering, free shipping, and a guaranteed perfect fit. Go to Blinds.com and take advantage of this week's special savings.
888-825-5225. This is The Ramsey Show. Let's go on out to Medford, Oregon, and talk to Travis. Travis, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing? Thanks for taking my call.
You bet. Thanks for calling. How can we help?
Well, I'm recently engaged to my fiancée, Chelsea.
Congratulations.
And, thank you, guys. And she's actually hopefully going to get on this call here. But anyway, we had a question trying to navigate how to combine finances. We're both on the same page as far as combining our money together.
Okay.
I'm self-employed, and the business requires a substantial amount of money that kind of stays within the business, and I've been paying myself out of that previously. And we're just trying to figure out how the best way to decide how much. I mean, do we pay ourselves on the personal side? Just trying to figure out how to combine finances, but keeping the business what it needs, if that makes sense.
Kind of. It's kind of a confusing way to ask it. Do you both work for the business or just you?
Just me. She has a job.
Okay, and so what do you pay yourself, or how do you pay yourself from your business?
Basically, what I've been doing up till now is I pay myself $2,400 a month out of the business to take care of a home mortgage, just the personal finances.
Mm-hmm. So is there any reason why you would change that number that you've been paying yourself?
The small amount of discussion that we've had is we'd like to basically figure out what we need together for budget-wise, and then if that number needs to change, it can. We don't have a number in mind, but is that a good way to even look at it?
Yeah, sure. I think you're just overthinking it, unless I'm missing something. I mean, here's the deal. She's going to have a job, yes or no?
Yes.
And you have a job. And so you pay yourself in your job. So you guys just sit down and do your budget. What do we think? I mean, are you going to be moving into your house? Is she going to be moving into your house? I mean, what are we doing there? Do we know?
We actually live together now. So we're living in a house that I bought years ago.
Okay, so just do the numbers. Just do the numbers. What is your budget? And now you've gone from one income to two incomes. She's got some bills maybe, but you guys combine everything. Yes, you should combine finances. And so you just do a budget and our combined finances. And if all of a sudden, let's say, for whatever reason, I'm just doing this for example purposes, let's say that she makes enough money to where you only have to pay yourself $2,000 a month. Well, that's $400 a month. That's savings for your company. Don't overthink it.
And then vice versa, if the company needs to shed down some more money to make things happen for each other, then it goes the other way too.
Sure, you're in charge.
It sounds like, you're giving yourself a raise, right? But are you, let me say it this way. You all need to have a combined personal income, but you need to have your business expenses separate from your personal income.
Yes.
Does that make sense? And so can your business afford your $24,000 a year salary?
It can, and it probably could afford some more, but the more I take out of the business side, because we've only been in business for like 4 years, so we're in growth mode.
Yeah, great. So only pay yourself what you need. Yeah, again, I love the question, but this is pretty simple stuff. Put your budget together. And again, if you could pay yourself less, pay yourself less. If you need to pay yourself more, pay yourself more. But get on the same page. You said at the start of the phone call that they're on the same page. He said they're on the same page. So walk the baby steps out together.
Right. And don't live out of it sounds like you may be using your business account as almost like a flex spending account for your personal life. You pay your bills, but if you need something, you'll just go grab it out of there. Man, you need to get on a budget on your business, paying you your salary. And then you need to learn to live off that salary. And you need to ask yourself for a raise if you need more money, but don't be dipping into your business just for when personal things show up that way. That's a good way to get yourself into some trouble there. All right, let's go to Edwin in Greensboro. Edwin, what's going on?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, yes, we can. How are you?
Good, how are you? So my name's Edwin. I live in North Carolina. I work as an equipment engineer. I'm 22, and I just graduated last May.
Congratulations.
Thank you. My question is, what are the next steps? Should I get a house? Should I continue renting? I don't like just money going to waste. My lease ends in September, but the housework is pretty high right now. I save about $2,000 each month, for a house or I don't know what yet. And I was wondering if you could help me out, see if I should look into getting a house now or not. I have about $5,000 in savings.
Do you have any debt?
$20,000. Yes, $20,000 for student loans and a credit card.
Yeah, so what you want to do here is you don't have any business buying a house until you are ready to buy a house. And if you are $20,000 plus in student loan debt, you need to get that paid off first. So what you need to do is you need to take $1,000 and put it, this is a last-ditch emergency fund. This is because the moment you get on this track, brother, you're going to need to replace a tire or something like that. You want $1,000. All the rest of your money is going to go to pay off those student loans. And you're going to keep renting, and you're not going to see the inside of a restaurant, and you're going to rice and beans, and you're going to deliver Uber on the weekends, and you are going to knock out that student loan, the rest of that $20,000 worth of debt. You're not going to buy a new car. You're not going to go party. You're just going to do whatever you got to do to get out of debt. And then you're going to save up 3 months, maybe 4 or 5 months worth of emergency expenses. You're going to become your own bank. You're not trying to invest this money. You're not trying to get rich off this money. This is just money that's going to protect you from whatever's coming your way. And one thing you can count on now that you've graduated college, life is going to be about things coming your way. Then you can get on track to start saving for a house. So you're a couple years away. It's no rush. I know it feels like the end of, I got to get this done. Here's the thing, man. I just bought a house. I've been renting. We got it inspected. It was great. And within the first 4 months, I've had to replace the driveway, a new roof, and that stuff's expensive. Mm-hmm. And thank goodness we had an emergency fund to pay for those things out of that fund. We want your home to be a blessing to you. You want your home to be something that makes you go, not something that you are stressing about every single week to try to pay off.
Yep. You got this, young man. Slow down. You're good. You're not wasting by renting.
You're not wasting by renting.
Keeping you free.
That's right. Man, did you feel that burn to buy a house? I didn't have that when I graduated college.
No, as a matter of fact, when I got out, I was working. So I was in politics. I was working all over the place. So I was in these, I would call mid to crappy level hotels. And I was just working and saving money. And then I met Stacy and we got married. And we rented an apartment. And I got to tell you, we thought this apartment was the Taj Mahal. It was a 2-bedroom apartment in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
Brand new. No one had even lived in it.
Wow,
but it was a new
that is
complex.
the Taj Mahal.
Oh, and listen, I had been literally all around the Commonwealth of Virginia and really, I'm not kidding when I say mid to crappy level. Like a mid-level would have been, it would have been a shock. That
they left the light on for you?
Essentially.
Yeah.
And so for me at that stage of my life, being 23, this is a brand new apartment. It was like a giant hotel suite. And for my wife, Stacy, again, she'd been in college and grad school, so it always shared a room with 2 or 3 other gals, in older.
And she had her own room on this one.
Yeah, and we had like a master bedroom with a bathroom, and again, a nice size apartment.
Yeah.
So for us, we were so in love with this living arrangement that the housing thing for us was 2 or 3 years later. We rented for about 2-3 years because we were scared. We didn't want to take on too much debt. And I think these young people got to realize, listen, what you think is throwing away your money is keeping you free, because once you get locked into debt that you can't afford, let me tell you something, that's a different ballgame. Renting is not a sin. We say that a lot. We need to remind you. If you're not ready to purchase a house with a minimum of 20% down, just keep renting. You're not throwing money away.
No, you're protecting yourself in the short term and in the long term. Yeah. I know it feels so good. Interest rates are low. It feels like this. Just slow down. Edwin, you are so far ahead of the game for even thinking this way. Let's get your debt paid off. Let's get some cash in your bank. You're going to walk taller. You're going to sleep deeper. And then you can start worrying about investing, buying a house, and start worrying about what comes next. Love your heart, brother. Hang in there. This is The Ramsey Show. Blinds.com. Find out for yourself why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window covering. You get free samples, free shipping, and with the new promos they run every month, you'll save even more. Use promo code Ramsey to get the best deal. Rules and restrictions apply. Today's question comes from Jason in Bentonville. Jason asks, how do I get a handle on what my career sweet spot should be? I have a lot of interest, and I'm not sure which one to pursue. Well, Jason, just so happens Ken Coleman is sitting next to me, and he is the master at talking about sweet spots and interest. What do you say, Ken?
So what we call the sweet spot is really your contribution zone, and there's multiple jobs, career paths, even multiple dream jobs in that contribution zone, or otherwise known as the sweet spot. So here's how we figured out. You've got a lot of interest. So we want to have a grid by which we can plug these interests into. And so there's a three-part process, or three parts of the grid, if you will. Number one is talent. So get down on a piece of paper, 3 columns. Far left, write the word talent, big bold letters under that. I want you to write down the hard skills and soft skills, your top 5, 6, or 7. If it's 10, that's fine. But we want to know the things that you're really, really good at, things that you've always been able to do very easily, things that people compliment you on. We're just looking for sheer talent, proficiency here. Second column, write passion above that line, and this is work that you love. So I define this as high emotion, high devotion. High emotion means when I think about this work, I get really excited. When I'm engaged in this work, I feel the juice. And then I don't want to stop this work. I enjoy doing this work. I would do this work potentially for free. That's high emotion, high devotion. Final column on the far right is mission, and this means results that matter deeply to you, results you want to contribute to the world, results you want to accomplish. So all work creates results, John, and so that's why we look at it this way. And so now we write down the very specific type of work under passion, and then under mission, the type of results. Who are the people you want to help? Problem you want to solve. Solutions you want to provide. That's what you're looking for under mission, okay? And so once you have those details, you go, oh, I see some real clear clues. And so we now go back to, I have a lot of interests. Well, what are those interests? Do they line up? Do you have the talent to do this interest? Do you have the passion to do this interest? Does this interest allow you to align with the results that you want to put in this world? And so what happens is, this is really stage 1 of my 7 stages to meaningful work, and that's get clear. That's the process. So once we know, oh, this interest lies within this sweet spot, if you will, these two don't, great. Because here's what we don't want to do. We don't want to be high on passion, low on talent. That's going to make for some big-time frustration.
Some awkward, that's your Simon Cowell moments,
there
right?
There you go. But with the reverse is, we don't want to be high on talent, low on passion. That's going to make for some desperation, right? I'm doing this, I'm pretty good at it, but I don't have any juice.
Right.
So that's why we put it that way. And here's what those answers plug into, really a purpose sentence. And we're talking about purpose in your work here. You use what you do best to do work you love, to accomplish results that matter deeply to you. And you will find that that will open up a whole lot of work to you. It's not just one silver bullet dream job. There's so much out there. So don't get all hung up in that anxiety of, which path do I choose? You know, here's the reality. You could choose any path as long as it aligns and is within your sweet spot.
Tell me if you've heard this, because this has been true in my life. And now that I'm thinking about it out loud here, it matches with some of the psychology research. We are often terrible at working through our own thoughts at some of these things. It was a few years ago, I heard an author, I think here in Nashville, named Andrew Peterson, said, your community often does a great job of defining your calling. I've often said, be talking to my wife and, my mission is this, and she'll laugh and go, no, it's not. This is what I always see you doing. This is when I see you walk taller. This is what brings you joy. I'm really good at this. And she'll say, no, you're not. You're really good at this. Is it, I guess in my life, I often will have these conversations with other people. Like before, when I got offered this job, I called some buddies back in Texas. I actually went and visited with them. And they listened to how preposterous it sounded that I was going to quit my other career to come do this maybe thing on the radio. And they all listened and said, yeah, that sounds crazy, and that sounds right. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Because you're good at this. And you're
sure.
Good. there's something about, for me, having other people reflect this to me.
The reason is because self-awareness, as you know, being a psychologist, self-awareness is not easy.
No.
There's so many things.
We either overinflate or underinflate ourselves, right?
Yeah, and so when I look in the mirror and see me, I see imperfections. I see stories from my past. I see failures. I see fears. I see doubts. And it's literally like, trying to drive in a super foggy night. I can only see literally to the windshield, maybe to the hood of the car.
Right.
When we look in the mirror and we're dealing with all those other things, sometimes it's very hard to see ourselves clearly. So having people who are very honest with us, who know us well, and love us enough to be honest,
and that we can hear,
that is a game changer. Because again, it's like them showing us a very clear mirror, and they're going, "You think, like you just said, that you're not good at this, but the fact of the matter is, you are good at it." Well, I'm not a really great speaker. Well, you're actually really good at communicating. Whether you think you're a great speaker or not, I see you in front of people. When you do, people light up. Whatever that is.
Right.
So yes, this process is good that I lay out is good, but I always teach, go get feedback.
I love it.
Because you want somebody to tell you whether or not you're delusional. We make fun of these poor kids on American Idol or other talent shows that go out there and proceed to just look like idiots and morons and just doofuses on stage, because we laugh at them because we're like, oh my gosh, they're passionately, awfully performing, and we laugh, ha 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 ha. And because of the line of work I'm in, it's never funny to me. I'm dying when I see that person do that, because I want to rush up there and grab them before they start and go, hey, you're passionate about this, but you don't have the talent to do it.
And in the first 4 or 5 seasons, I'll never forget, the most common refrain in my head and with my buddies was, what kind of friends?
Yeah, or parents.
What kind of family?
Oh.
Somebody's got to sit you down and say, hey.
Yeah, well, here's my favorite. I mean, I got to tell you, you want to talk about revealing. Any of you who've watched American Idol before, you've seen the kid who gets told that they're not good, and they get mad at the world-class judges and producers who've, sold millions and millions of records.
Right.
And they're like, I'll show you. You don't get it. American Idol's missing out on me. And like, they're the ones that are delusional.
Yeah.
And as they're storming off in anger, you almost always see the parent in the background of the camera shot. And the parent is either doing one of two things. They're getting along with it, and they're just like, these people are idiots. My son's talented, or my daughter, whatever. But the ones that I see most is the parent who's ashamed. And in this moment, the parent's realizing, I should have told him.
Yep.
But they asked me, and I fell prey to the parenting style of, we want Johnny and Susie to feel good.
Right.
Instead of teaching them how to be good, do good. And this is the parenting mistake we make. We get so worried about our kids feeling good.
We want our kids to like us.
Instead of teaching them how to be good and do good. And by the way, being good and doing good comes with a massive, massive, massive dose of self-awareness.
And boundaries, and here's the magic one.
Can't have boundaries if you're not aware.
Yeah. It goes, parents have to model it, right?
Yeah.
Because you can talk all day to your kids,
so they
but
lie
you got
to
to show them. That's exactly what it is. They lie to their kids.
You sing so good, Johnny.
Incredible.
And then Johnny goes out there and humiliates himself. And the reason he's mad is because Johnny can't process his feelings because he's been told he's great this whole time. And then these 3 people just told him he's awful. How are you supposed to process that, John?
Or when somebody calls you at work, let's bring this a little bit closer to home. Hey, man, I got passed over again.
Yeah.
I think they don't like me.
Right.
You can do one of 2 things. You can say, hey, let's go get coffee.
Yeah.
And tell them the truth. Hey, man, you're always late.
Yeah.
Or the work you do, you're better than this.
Yeah.
Or
you're unlikable.
You're not going to like this job.
Right.
Right? This is a budget job. You like me. Or you're kind of a jerk, man.
Yeah, you act like a bull in a china shop.
Or the other response is, yeah, man, they're just hosing you. It's probably because of fill in the blank.
It's all them. And that doesn't help anybody.
It hurts.
Because then they take that attitude and then they take that toxicity with them to the next stop, and they just, honestly, they just dump it on everybody else everywhere they go, because they never get any truth, which leads to that enlightening opportunity to go, oh, this is where I can succeed. This is where I can have success. This is where I sense significance.
I can look back on my life, whether it's Kevin Roberts or John Noel Thompson or Phil Schubert. I could rattle names off all day of folks, Mike Gibson, who have stopped me, pulled me in a room and said, this isn't the right path for you. You can do better work here. Today's scripture is Ephesians 2:10. For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. Walt Disney says, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. We got to do that one again.
I love me some Walt.
Walt Disney says, the way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Ken, why is it so hard to stop planning and thinking and researching and asking and going to coffee?
Because
and just go hit the dude in the mouth and see what happens.
Because we got fear on one shoulder and doubt on the other. And fear's going, this is going to happen if you step out. This is going to happen. This could happen. And then you got doubt going, it's too late. It's going, you don't have what it takes.
You're too old. You should have got a different degree.
Yeah.
You should have filled in the blank.
Yeah, fear and doubt, man. It just turns that amygdala on in our brain, dude. That fight or flight. And we're like, and it's just, you got to get out of your head and follow your heart. I'm always telling people that there's a wrestling match between your head and your heart, and you got to follow your heart. You got to follow your heart, because if your heart's going, I know this is right, we know we need to do it, we've used our head enough, we've logicked this thing to death, and we know we have what it takes, talent, we know we're passionate about the work, and we know we want to create these results, then go.
At some
just
point,
go.
The fighters training camp is over.
I mean, Walt Disney's story. Just go. See, I think sometimes we make guys like Walt Disney these magical, mythical business heroes until you actually learn their story and you read his story. He's only that because the dude straight up went after it, man, all in,
burned
multiple
the boats,
times.
right? Yeah.
So grab the story there, and you realize that's what made him. He actually believed. Nobody else believed him except his brother, Roy.
He just kept swinging.
Yeah, he got it right.
The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. I love it, man. All right, let's go to Hope in Roanoke, Virginia. What's up, Hope? How are we doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for your call. How can we help?
All right. So literally as soon as my husband and I really sat down and committed to the Dave Ramsey method, our household income doubled the following week.
Whoa!
Wow.
You can't just dangle that, Hope. How did that happen? Give us the details.
Well, my husband and I both had changes within our jobs. He got a substantial raise, and I was finally taken off furlough status, made full-time, and given a substantial raise.
That is so
when you say double, give me a ballpark. What's the number?
Well, for the first 3 years of our marriage, the most we brought in was $45,000 a year. This year, we're estimated to bring in about $95,000.
Good for you.
Very
Fantastic.
cool.
All right, keep going. That
So what's
was
your
fun.
question?
Yeah. So, I grew up in severe poverty, actually. In fact, my family is homeless right now after their second foreclosure.
I'm sorry.
So my question is, how do I go about managing my money without feeling overwhelming guilt over my household income and still managing the massive amount of debt that we do have?
Well, how much debt do you have? Let's get that out of the way first, and John will talk you through that guilt stuff.
So, $65,000.
That's it? Just 65?
That's it. 10 in the car, 25 in cars, and 30 in students.
Okay, whoa, slow down. Give that to me again. What? Give me the breakdown.
10,000 in cars.
Okay.
25,000 in cars, like credit cards.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And then 30,000 in student loans.
Okay. All right. How much is that car worth?
My car, I paid $17,000 for it. We have about 10 is what's left, and we're sharing a car.
Okay, so y'all are after it. So are y'all just running and gunning here? You essentially had money fall from the sky, right? Y'all been working hard. Your income has doubled, and when you went all in, you had a plan. Are y'all throwing every extra penny towards this debt?
We literally, the moment we decided, we've already switched to the cash envelope system. We have a set amount of money every paycheck that strictly goes to bills. We have a massive amount going towards debt. I did some math we're estimated to pay everything off in about 2 to 2.5 years.
Okay, that's amazing. So you just answered one half of your question.
Yes.
And the good news is you answered the half that I may have weighed in on. So this is all on Dr. Deloney now. But that second half of the question was, you said, how do I manage my money and take good care of it and not feel guilty? Well, look, you're walking out the baby steps. You guys have tremendous momentum. Just follow the plan. And you guys are doing it. I sense that joy in you, and you can feel it, and you see that future. I love that you got that 2.5 year mark. So here's the deal. Keep walking it out. Don't stop the baby steps for nothing. Don't stop. Now, that's the answer to that question. John, that guilt thing, though.
Yeah, that guilt thing will wear you out. So tell me about growing up. What was it like?
So when my family bought their first house, it was worth $190,000. When they got foreclosed on, they had $290,000 in equity, and it's only worth about $240,000. So there's a huge history of racking up credit card and racking up all this debt. And in fact, there was a mindset in my household that debt was more godly, and it was really horrible to witness growing up. And so whenever anyone in my family had more money, the rest of the family would almost attack them. And that is what I grew up in. And so now that I have the ability to build wealth, it's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So money is going to set off. Money was weaponized, right? And it was
absolutely
a scarcity, right? So you got to see you had a first row seat to pain and hurt and people beating each other up emotionally, psychologically, possibly even physically over this thing called money, this thing called debt. Are you getting calls now? Or is this something that you see and that you feel this nudge to go respond to or to go help out at the same time we're not even in a place to do that?
I've already had pressure put on me to take in my siblings. I have an 18-year-old autistic brother and a 13-year-old sister, and I've had pressure put on me for helping them find a home and getting out of their situation. And my husband very kindly has been trying to help me to put boundaries between that.
Right.
But it doesn't, the guilt runs deep, and learning when to say no is extremely difficult when you're dealing with these kinds of circumstances.
No doubt about it. So your husband's on to something. What does a boundary look like for you? Here's what I'm not going to do, Hope. I'm not going to tell you here's what you should do with your siblings, the children. I'm not going to tell you should not do this or that or that or this. What I am going to tell you is you've got to put your oxygen mask on first. You've got to make sure you are financially okay, or you're going to just swamp the whole boat, right? You're going to end up in the exact same situation because you're trying to save somebody, but you're not anchored in, right?
Hope, let me ask you a question really quick. As it sits right this moment, as you're talking to John and I, are you worried about financial ruin or relationship ruin?
Neither.
Good.
Neither.
Good. Because here's the deal. If you allow the threat of your family being mad at you, you will end up resenting them, and you go help them and you sink the financial ship like John's talking about. You're going to cause tension with your husband. You're going to cause tension with the very people that you're trying to help because you'll resent them. So I'm so glad you answered it that way, which tells me, is this really a guilt thing, or do you just feel badly that you feel like you're free from this, almost like free from this mental lock on the family, and you're free of it?
I will tell you, I made a personal decision the moment my husband and I married, that the poverty and the drug abuse and all these cycles that have gone on for generations were going to end with me.
Good for you.
And
good for you.
And took our income doubling in a week.
Yeah, that's a sign, Hope.
It's a
That's
sign.
a sign.
Hope.
Don't look back.
Hold on to your boundaries. Hold on to your space. And then when you're okay, you can revisit the support, right? And if there is abuse, make sure you're calling the right people to get the proper authorities involved. I want to say thanks to James and Zach Bennett. Thanks to my good friend Ken Coleman, and thanks to you, America. This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Kelly, associate producer for The Ramsey Show. This episode is over, but if you heard about an event, product, or service and didn't have a chance to write it down, don't worry. We list everything you've heard about during this episode in the podcast show notes section, or head over to DaveRamsey.com and click Dave Recommends. Thanks for listening.